Now, I was in Detroit 3 years ago when Ford first launched the Cougar, and they launched it with all the American razzmatazz that you would come to expect. But Ford have decided, for whatever reason, to pull the plug, and you can buy them for seriously cheap money. The Cougar's not been around that long. I mean, only about 3 years its lifetime, and Ford have decided to pull the plug. Why do you think that is?
Well, it's a nice car. It's got a V6 engine in there, but it's not quite the size of the ST24 or the Vectra GSI. It's a 2+2, so you need to be fairly short to get in the back of them, and you certainly wouldn't want to do a long distance there.
Before this car, we had the Probe from Ford. The success with the sort of medium-sized coupes is not great, is it?
Not really. Again, I think it's the lack of space in the back, but also as well the drivability of the cars weren't exactly thrilling. I mean, they look great, but they drive more like a Granada.
So this is what, just over £10,000 for this car. What was it when it was new?
About £19,000, I believe, from the main dealers. Slightly cheaper now.
So they're starting to depreciate quite quickly. Is that because they've now been discontinued?
Well, also, and that because obviously supply and demand. There's plenty of other cars out there. They don't quite actually meet the hit the target like, say, the Toyota Celica, which has brilliant looks and lots of drivability, whereas this looks good but doesn't quite match the drivability of the Celica.
And what about problems? Anything to worry about on the Cougar range at all?
Well, nothing directly from the main dealers from brand new, but we've had a little bit of a problem over the last couple of weeks where customer wanted a change of wheels, so we found that the car drove terribly until we found out they had to change the geometry on the electronics of the vehicle to make it drive properly. So be very careful if you change the wheels on one of these. Make sure that you have it done by a professional.
It's funny in a way that Ford have had success with what they call their new age design styling, of which the Cougar is one of those cars that comes from that sort of stable. They've had that success with the likes of the Puma and the Focus, but the Cougar's never really caught on. And it's a shame in some ways, but if you're looking for a good used coupe to buy, then that means, well, you can pick these up for quite low prices. The key rivals, I would say, to the Cougar would be something like the Peugeot 406, which is a very, very stylish car indeed, or perhaps the Fiat Coupe, which has also gone out of production rather interestingly. You get a choice of two different engines, a 2-litre 16-valve 4-cylinder, or this 2.5 V6 Duratec with about 175 brake horsepower. It's enough to get the car from 0 to 60 in around 9 seconds and a top speed of 130 miles an hour. It's no great stormer, but it's quick enough and it's fun to drive, and it's a very comfortable, very smart cabin to be in. And this particular 2.5 V6 gets all the toys, air conditioning, a quality stereo system. It gets controls on the steering wheel for the radio and the cruise control as well. But remember that the Cougar was essentially designed to be a car to take on the American market, although it is a worldwide car as well.